the Jordan School District is again making tough decisions about how to handle COVID case spikes in schools.
Tonight, the school board has been discussing what to do if schools need to extend virtual learning. Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher has been in that meeting all evening. She joins us from Riverton. Lauren.
Yeah, Kelly and Bob, and in fact, 10:15 at night, that meeting just finished a couple of minutes ago. Board members are still in the room even. Now, they did discuss briefly potentially moving schools like Riverton High School online, maybe extending the Bingham High School online learning another week. But first, before they talked about that, they needed to go over and clarify some of their policies.
Like every school board work session these days, there is one overarching topic to talk about. And you can probably guess what that is.
We just want to give some clarity so that people aren't guessing what's going to happen, that they kind of know, well, here's generally the policy.
The policy, what triggers a school going back online during a COVID case spike for a second time.
We have had 3 schools transition to virtual learning. Now that they're coming off and they're resetting, we want to know what's going to happen if they creep back up again.
Which could very well happen, says Board President Bryce Dunford. The board needed to clarify the boundaries.
Where do we start to say, okay, now we're resetting and starting over? And when do we just let it ride?
But we still need to answer the question of what that action is at 15.
Yes.
So this is just, when is a reset?
When do you consider a school having reset?
Here's the answer they came up with. When a high school approaches or hits 1% for COVID cases, they'll have an emergency meeting to talk about taking action. If a school hits 2%, it's automatic transition into virtual learning. They'll re-examine after 2 weeks and decide whether to reset and let students come back.
What we've learned in the past is that when a high school starts hitting 1%, it starts breaking down at the seams.
The board still wants to look at everything on a case-by-case, school-by-school basis. The one thing they set in stone for the rest of the year, the school schedule, which will stay 4-day in person with a Friday virtual day.
I would love to say that COVID's going to be gone at the end of the semester and we don't need to do this anymore, but it's not. It's here to stay. I'm sure this is what we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the school year.
Yeah, and they also discussed elementary schools. The threshold trigger for that emergency meeting is 15 cases in a school. Now, in the end, they decided not to take Riverton High School online at this time. They're going to wait and see on that. And as far as Bingham, those students are set to return to school on Monday, and the board is going to wait until Thursday to potentially call an emergency meeting to decide what to do with that school next. Live in Riverton, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.